Our meat chickens are 2 weeks old now, and we're expecting some really cold temperatures this week. I want to tell you about what we're doing to keep them warm. Howdy folks, my name's Reagan. This is the GWP Homestead. I am standing in our outdoor brooder. Now outdoor meaning it's in our barn, but it's not conditioned other than the heat sources that we have in here for the chicks. What we are doing, this is our first time raising meat chickens, and we want to take you week by week, tell you about the things we're doing, things we would have done differently, things we're looking forward to in the weeks ahead. This is not an expert's take on meat chickens. This is a first-timer's take, and so far we have learned a few very important lessons. Now, along with our Cornish cross boilers, we're also raising a few Golden Comet layer hens. We have plenty of space in this brooder. We can do just about anything that we want in here. We ended up combining the layer hens and the meat chickens together from about week 1 to week 2. We just separated them out. We're starting to see some bullying. We had some people comment, some of our friends on here, saying that they hadn't really had great success raising meat birds and laying hens together. It worked for about a week, but the meat chickens are growing at such a fast rate. They're kind of bullying the other chicks, and now is the time to separate them before we have some problems, before our layer hens fall too far behind. We don't want that. These birds are weird. They're weird. This brooder is very new. We've only been using it for a couple of weeks. So far, we are extremely happy, but one wall of this is almost entirely hardware cloth. Now, that's great for light, and it's great for ventilation, but with temperatures, well, we're expecting it to get down below freezing, about 30 degrees or so, 30 degrees Fahrenheit. That big wall is letting a lot of the heat that we're trying to keep in this space out. And cold temperatures, baby chicks, obviously that is not good. It's a recipe for disaster. What we've done is we've taken a tarp and have just draped it over the side, and that's doing a great job. It's about 35 outside right now. Not too cold. It's too cold for a baby chick, but it's that temperature outside. I don't know what it is in here. You would think a guy who does HVAC would have some way to measure temperature. I don't. Not here. I probably should have requisitioned something from work. I didn't. It's warm in here. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and a vest. I'm comfortable, almost kind of hot. The chicks all seem to be doing great. Meat birds, layer hens, everything is doing wonderful in here. One reason we're using the tarp instead of something maybe like cardboard where we completely sealed that wall up is we want to make sure there's still plenty of ventilation. This is a big room I'm in. Ventilation is still a concern, maybe not as much as if it was a small, tiny room. But even with this size space, if it gets warmer during the day, and we want to, we can just easily flip that tarp up or roll it up to the best of our abilities and have this wall open. Right now, not a huge deal, but we do have that option just in case we need it, and of course it's easy to take down. Here in Kentucky, we get cold temperatures, we get hot temperatures. It's the second week of March now, so there's no telling what we're going to get. It was 70 a few weeks ago, and now we're going to be down into the 20s coming up. I don't know, but flexibility is key. In addition to the tarp, we're making sure that there is plenty of fresh, dry bedding in here. Of course, as these chicks, they drink water, they eat food, they're making a mess, and their waist is wet, and wet can get cold, it can be hard on their feet. We're making sure there's plenty of fresh, dry bedding that if they want to bathe or anything like that, they're not going to have all that stuff, clinging to their feet, bringing their body temperature down, or they're incapable of regulating their own body temperature until they're fully feathered. This is just a little bit that we can do to help them out. Something that we started doing last week was weighing these birds. I should have done it when they first came in, but didn't think of it. Started last week. We're going to go ahead and weigh these birds now and take like a 3-bird average, and that way we can track and see just how much they're growing. I can tell you just by picking them up, they have grown a lot. Of course, they're Cornish cross hens. They go from hatch to butcher in 8 weeks, so obviously they're going to grow. They're putting away the food, they're putting away the water. They're growing quickly, but this is our first time doing it. It is incredible just how much mass they put on in a short amount of time.
12.1 ounces. $10.9 ounces. $12. Hey, there, I'm going, 12.9.
Now with that done, here's the average weight for what we took. That's impressive. That's quite a bit of growth from last week. I'll do the calculations and put them up here. I don't have them in front of me right now. I'm in the barn talking to the camera late at night. That's what I do. Now regarding their food, right now you can see they do not have any food in here with them. Starting in week 2, we are pulling their feed for 12 hours each day. So they're going to have food for 12 hours. The other half of the day they will not have food. because of how fast these guys grow and how much they eat, their propensity to eat and put away food. We want to, and this isn't just our idea. If you take away their food, if they overeat, is a better way to put it, it can lead to a series of health problems for these gals, and we don't want that. We want these guys to live to a ripe age butcher. We don't want them to get sick. We don't want them to overeat. We don't want them to, any kind of trouble. So no food right now. We're starting that this week. They are still on chick start until they are fully feathered. So we're expecting that to be next week, week 3. They'll be fully feathered. They'll be moving over to meat bird grower feed rather than the chick start. They, of course, have a continuous supply of water all the time. We're never taking away their water. But right now, they do not have food. Now, if the weather cooperates, at the end of week 3, we will be moving these birds from the brooder into the tractor so they can spend the remaining 5 weeks of their lifespan in the tractor, focusing all of that wonderful fertilizer that they produce into our fields for our other animals. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm kind of looking at the forecast. I think it's going to be a little too cold coming up. Even though they'll be fully feathered, they should, in theory, be capable of regulating their body temperatures. If we're going to get down into the 20s for a couple of nights this coming weekend, I'm not sure I'm comfortable putting those young birds out, but that's okay. We have the ability to be flexible, and we just make do. That's what we're doing. We make do around here. We also have some other things that are really exciting. I can't tell you about them just yet, but it doesn't have to do with meat chickens. That's all I can tell you. Still working on a few things, but that stuff is coming up. If you want to see more about what we're doing around here, we've got a playlist, we've got a subscription, we got that video. Click on any of them. Appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. My name's Reagan. This is the GWP Homestead. We'll see you soon.